So in the greens that I've mixed 3 puddles of green, then I've added yellow to one puddle, and I've added blue to another, and I've also made a puddle that has got some purple, and you can have a tiny bit of blue in that puddle too. So my first layer through is my yellow and green, and notice I want it to not be solid. I'm trying to keep some laciness or some openness, but I am going to add both my green, not absolutely everywhere that my yellow green is. And I do want some of these stems to go down into my carrot. Then I'm going to pick up my blue-green, and you do need to work quickly because this is going to start to dry, and if it dries, it doesn't work as well with your salt. So you can see how wet and how my puddles are. Then I'm going to put salt, and you can see where it starts to dry, the color pulls and gives you some awesome texture. I can go back and add a few more places if I choose to, but remember, I want some of this out here. I can add a tiny bit more water, and this will put these in the background, doesn't it? Now, you don't want to use a blow dryer because that will just blow all of your color and everything off. Now remember, when we use salt, the salt can be table salt or it can be a coarser salt. And the coarser the salt, the bigger that the texture it's going to create when it's put onto your wet watercolors. So you need to make certain that your paint is completely dry. If I hold up this little sample piece, you can see there's still a little bit of water out around the edge. If you brush the salt off, it will smear your paint. So if your mom doesn't mind, take a hairdryer on cool. Don't get too close and don't hold your hand on the back, and dry your paint. Now, once it's dry, I can take a dry paper towel and I can push the salt off. Look how awesome. See the texture that it's created? Now my next step is going to be push the salt up into the wastebasket so we don't make a mess. That's the best place to do that. And before I do that, I'm going to take my eraser, and in a circular motion, I'm going to erase any lines that I still have that I didn't cover. And again, I'm going to brush that off with my dry paper towel onto a paper or into the wastebasket, and then I'm ready for my background. Now I've already mixed my background, and it's blue and green because I like that with my orange. Blue is opposite of my orange, and green is opposite of my red that I've gone on there, and I want to keep it light, so add plenty of water, and as I get close to my carrot, I am not going to worry that I've got a little bit of overlap. I just want to get this on, especially on my leaves, because if it does overlap, it actually will put some of my leaves farther into the background, and make certain that you use plenty of paint and water, that you're not dry brushing. Kind of use crisscross strokes and smooth. Also, use a bigger brush if you have one so you don't see your brush strokes, so you can get it on quickly and be finished. So, get your background on. That's our next step. And then we're going to let it dry before we do our details. everything is covered. Some of it I'm going to go back and let a little bit of that water puddle to give me some more depth and dimension. Also, that helps to anchor my design to my background by adding some dark around it. Again, make certain you have plenty of water and color, that you're not putting it on dry. And if you miss a couple little spots, no big deal. Or if you go over some of the back edges, that just helps push that in the background. So the last step that we're going to do is our detail. If you look close, in my background, when I got my darks in there, I cheated just a little bit and I sprinkled on just a tiny bit of salt. See these blossoms right here? So if your background in and around your green leaves, if you would like to, you could add some salt to give you some extra texture. So the next thing I'm going to do is add just a little bit of detail on some of my carrot leaves. I'm going to pull some line work, maybe a few little edges. And then also, if you notice on the big carrot in the first picture that I did, I had some little roots. So if you want to add, there's some detail on your carrot. There usually is a little bit of an indentation and then a little root will come out. So upside down C, you can blend that if you want to with a tiny, tiny brush and some water. I got that one a little bit dark, so that will just soften that. And then you can pull out just a few little roots here and there if you would like. Tiny bit on this end, because that's really where they have those tiny little roots that come out. Don't overdo, just add enough to complement what you've done. And there we are, an absolutely awesome carrot. Try some different color combinations. Send me what you've done. Thanks so much. Bye.